Like this, for instance. This is from April 4th of last year. This is a chatbot that encouraged a user to commit suicide. And tragically, he did. This is his widow, who reports that her husband had a conversation with this chatbot and it asked him, if you wanted to die, why didn't you do it sooner? And went on to give him instructions on how to kill himself. Do we really want chatbots telling people to kill themselves?
Hello, all. Jace here. Hope you guys are doing well today. Um, as I was researching a video recently on AI and its impact on the United States, I came across a Senate hearing where Senator Josh Hawley questioned John Miller of the Information Technology Industry Council over whether or not AI developers should be held accountable for the answers their programs are providing. Specifically, when the AI chat recommends something and the person ended their life. Here is what they had to say about it.
I have to tell you, it sounds like some gobbledygook to me, but let me tell you what I think would be useful is if maybe you would get your technology companies to focus on their chatbot stopping encouraging people to kill themselves. Like this, for instance. This is from April 4th of last year. This is a chatbot that encouraged a user to commit suicide. And tragically, he did. This is his widow, who reports that her husband had a conversation with this chatbot and it asked him, if you wanted to die, why didn't you do it sooner? And went on to give him instructions on how to kill himself. Do we really want chatbots telling people to kill themselves? I mean, is there social good in that I'm missing somewhere?
I certainly don't think we want chatbots doing those sorts of things. I mean, but artificial intelligence can do a lot of good things as well. So I do think that we want to be, focused in addressing, issues and while also allowing artificial intelligence to, do things like help, cure cancer and things like that.
Well, AI is going to cure cancer?
It certainly could be a tool to help with various different cures in the medical field. Absolutely.
So are you saying that we have to accept AI chatbots encouraging people to kill themselves for the possibility that maybe it'll cure cancer?
So this debate got me to thinking, should these AI companies be held responsible? Anytime I consider questions like this, I try to drill down to the foundation of it, figure out what my stance would be at a core level and then apply it upward to ensure that my stance stays intellectually consistent, across the board. Where I got stuck is how can the government try to hold these companies accountable when the same government has endorsed murder in so many different ways? In the United States, we've enacted into law policies that allow doctors to assist people who want to delete themselves and abort unwanted babies. In the case of assisted suicide, California, Maine, Oregon, Colorado, Montana, Vermont, DC, New Jersey, Washington, Hawaii, and New Mexico have all passed death with dignity legislation. Surprising to no one that the actual numbers people they've assisted are impossible to find as they're still being aggregated. Even from 2 or 3 years ago, they still don't have accurate numbers on this for some odd reason. But thousands of prescriptions are being written every single year by these states. You can see it here in this Statista page or article where they gave some preliminary numbers, and it shows that over 1,300 completed assisted suicides were performed in the U.S. in 2021. Now you can see there that represents a 53% increase from just 2 years prior. Now, if you extrapolated that same percent increase, that would mean around 2,900 assisted suicides were completed in 2023. But even those numbers are very conservative considering the number of prescriptions written year by year is increasing by an even larger percentage than that due to access laws like this one here by our wonderful friends in California. But access laws that are broadening the access in many states. In 2021, you can see here they passed an amendment that reduced the waiting period between the first and second oral request from 15 days to 48 hours. Because, why would you want to wait a couple of weeks before you decide to kill yourself? And it eliminated the final attestation form, which you can see right over here. And basically, this just covers the providers and the facilities by the patient stating that they understand what they're doing. Now, let's move on to an even bigger form of legalized murder, abortion. So, as you can see on this map, 37 of our 50 states have some form of legalized abortion passed into law. Some of them with no gestational limit whatsoever. It can be up to 40 weeks. They can kill that baby. Now, as far as gross numbers go, over 1 million abortions were performed in the U.S. in 2023. So any of you who thought that the overturning of Roe versus Wade was the end of the abortion crisis, you are dead wrong, pun intended. Last year, we had more abortions than we had in over a decade. In the first year, the number was over 1 million since 2012. The Supreme Court decision was great for the 13 states like mine that have banned abortions, but it has had no impact on the number of children being cleared each year. So all of this got me considering, when do I approve of legalized murder? The only example I could think of personally was death row. And for any of you crusaders who want to jump in the comments, I do not consider acts of self-defense murder. Shooting someone who is breaking into your home, or choking out a crazed lunatic on a subway train to protect yourself or those around you is not murder. But if I condemned assisted suicide and abortion, how can I support the death penalty? My justification is always centered around what the Bible says about putting people to death. In the Old Testament, it was pretty clear, and there were multiple instances where it states that people can be put to death. The New Testament is a little more ambiguous on it, as Jesus' teachings are much more geared toward grace and forgiveness than punishment. But his teachings never forbade the death penalty. But here's my problem with that. The Bible condemns murderers to death, but it also condemns adulterers and blasphemers as well. Once again, we are cherry picking our morality and arbitrarily deciding which offenses are acceptable and which require federal intervention. How can the federal government say the AI developers should be held criminally accountable for chat, saying it's okay to kill yourself, while it allows states to assist with suicide, perform abortions, and place people on death row? And going even deeper on that subject, on what moral ground are the states basing their death row acceptance if they chose to remove the other offenses stated in the Bible being worthy of death? How exactly does that work? So for now, I've decided I don't agree with the death penalty anymore. Until or unless a state can show me what its morality is founded upon. If it's the Bible, they're halfway there, but they also have to explain to me why they're only selecting murder to be an offense worthy of death. So here is where I landed, and I encourage all of you to think this through and let me know in the comments as well. Either the federal government condemns murder or it doesn't. Pure and simple. Until it is ready to fully condemn all murder, it should stop cherry picking causes that the politicians think will garner support in their states and win them re-elections. It can't hold hearings to try to make AI developers accountable for developing a program that encouraged suicide when it has encouraged murder by standing aside and letting states pass laws allowing assisted suicide and abortion. Either pick a stance and hold it, or stay the hell out of the way and let the states govern themselves like the founders envisioned. Once again, guys, please think this through. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'm really curious. Don't give me some one-liner. You can call me an idiot if you want to, but trust me, I've heard it before. But thank y'all for watching. Please like, follow, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. God bless, and we'll see you for the next one.